Racing Times. This week's stories. U.S. mayors gather in Hawaii, display nonpartisan solidarity amid divisive issues. Gamers explore products and emerging tech at E3 2019. Family bonding over video gaming. Esports programs explode onto the college scene. The Los Angeles Dodgers host Filipino Night. Residents of San Antonio, Texas express support for their local park. Plus, Safety Harbor, Florida celebrates U.S. Independence Day. And Summerlin community holds its 25th Patriotic Parade on Independence Day. Hello everyone, I am Lonnie Valdicantos, bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News Weekend Edition, broadcasting from Las Vegas. Upholding its status as a nonpartisan organization, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, during its annual meeting in Hawaii, strove to push ahead with its agenda undeterred by party politics. The delegation acknowledged several national and even global issues, emphasizing their impacts on local communities. Alfred Asenes has more.
Great mayors. I believe, and maybe I'm biased, but I think all the solutions that you see in our country start in our cities, big and small. Mayors are ones who take action. It's not about voting up and down on a bill. It's not blaming the person across the aisle. It's about coming together, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, but joining to get action done. We're close and personal to the people of our cities, and they demand action, and we do that.
More than 220 mayors across the U.S. who recently gathered in Honolulu for their annual meeting of the United States Conference of Mayors demonstrated before the media a united front in looking out for their respective municipalities and constituents.
Our nation is facing some incredibly deeply rooted challenges. My fellow mayors are the ones who are putting party aside to help solve those challenges.
Mayor Benjamin and several other civic leaders also took the opportunity to acknowledge and comment on various current events happening in the country and around the world.
We are greatly encouraged by the Supreme Court decision yesterday, blocking the citizenship question from being added to the 2020 census. Both Democrats and Republicans and also as independents who understand the importance of having good data in making decisions, and certainly funding decisions that we have to make every single day, we recognize that having a full, fair, and accurate count, the lack thereof could undermine the very core of the constitutional mandate of the census. And the United States Conference of Mayors was the only public interest group to file a lawsuit to block the administration on this issue. We're very proud of that success.
Record drought. Record heat in Europe taking place this week. Fires ravaging throughout the western United States. We know that something or some things is happening with our climate. And it's most devastating to where most people live. And of course, that's in our cities. And so while DC is leaving climate agreements, mayors are plowing forward and saying we can't wait. The future of our cities depend on this.
Even LA Mayor Eric Garcetti touched on immigration by sharing his grandfather's experience in trying to cross the U.S.-Mexico border as a refugee.
And we had a country that accepted him, that allowed him to fight for this country, that allowed him to become a citizen, and that is the reason that I'm here. But unfortunately, we have a heartless policy too many times in this country. We have to remember who we are as Americans. There's a lot of talk about America first. How about being Americans first? And this body is what that is about.
While appearing to display some emotion, Garcetti went on with his remarks, this time in Spanish.
I don't know if there's any Spanish press here in Honolulu, and this isn't a democratic presidential debate, but I'll say some Spanish anyways. Yo quiero decir unas palabras en español también. Necesitamos un país aquí en los Estados Unidos donde todos nosotros pertenecemos y todos nosotros son parte integral de este país. La visión de este grupo de alcaldes en todas partes de este país son una visión que necesitamos en los Estados Unidos ahora. Una visión desafortunadamente en Washington de división, de odio, no son los valores de nuestras ciudades y de este país. Gracias a estos líderes por su visión, gracias a este equipo, porque ganaremos en estas luchas. We will win these fights.
Finally, the mayor from Columbia, South Carolina, expressed optimism about his fellow leaders in accomplishing their agenda during their collaboration in the Aloha State.
In closing, let me say that while the attention of the nation is trained on the battle for the presidency, and that mayors are relentlessly toiling away in their local communities, getting things done on issues that matter most to our residents. And I, for one, look forward to learning more over these next few days about the path to greater opportunity that my colleagues are paving for the men and women and families that they represent.
Meanwhile, Hawaii-born former U.S. President Barack Obama sent a letter to the Conference of Mayors congratulating the entire body in, quote, fortifying the notion that government can be a force for good in the lives of its citizens, end of quote. The 2019 annual meeting of the United States Conference of Mayors adjourned on 1 July. Reporting from Waikiki, Hawaii, I'm Alfred Asenas, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Alfred. Coming up, gamers explore products and emerging tech at E3 2019. Family bonding over video gaming. Esports programs explode onto the college scene. Eagle News Weekend Edition will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Weekend Edition. I'm Lonnie Valdicantos. Our Los Angeles Bureau was up for the challenge of covering one of the country's largest conventions, E3, where droves of enthusiasts from all over the world gathered at this mecca for all things video games. Alan and Eva Basalyaje with the story.
Eagle News once more storms the shores of the world's biggest video game expo of the year, E3. It'll be a daunting challenge running the gamut of exhibitors, products, and emerging tech at the Los Angeles Convention Center, but I accept the challenge. Needless to say, this will be my most daring single-player solo adventure ever. Oh, hello.
Our 3-day coverage of E3 will be a blend of video game news and at times seemingly unrelated stories. You'll see what we mean. But to start things off, we decided to take a look at those peripherals and accessories that enhance the gaming experience and give the edge to serious competitors. First off, PC gaming.
We're showcasing Lexip's space controller. This space peripheral, this space controller, is meant to be played with space games and city building games. You can entirely tilt it forward, backward, and side to side, and using the little joystick on the side, piloting the space throttle of the engine and the left-right axis of the ship, right? And what basically I'm doing right here is piloting a spacecraft, an entire spacecraft, that's one thing, with just one hand. leaving my second hand entirely available for all the keyboard shortcuts that these games require. Exactly like little kids play the spacecraft thing, you know? They run everywhere and go meow like this, right? And you do exactly the same movement, but on the peripheral, and you actually become the ship itself.
Light guns have been like a very popular gaming genre in the past, but the problem is they kind of went away. CRT TVs went away, and there really hasn't been a solution for this generation of consoles. So we actually developed this technology. It uses a very low power invisible laser, and it utilizes this camera. It's an IR, what we call our IR station. This is wired to your console, again, either Xbox One or PlayStation 4. It knows exactly where you're pointing with this invisible laser as you point it at the screen. So very, very precise, no lag, to really kind of reinvent, light gun gaming and bring it to the new consoles.
The Xbox Wireless Elite Controller Series 2. It's our second iteration of our Elite controller. What we've got is, we've got a controller where we've got rubberized grips around the bottom and the top of the controller. What that does is it gives you a nice, firm and comfortable way to hold the controller. It also allows for different styles of holding the controller, which is nice. 3 positions for our triggers, which is great because it gives you options based on the games. Maybe you want the full stroke for a racing game, but maybe the really short one for a first-person shooter. New this year, we introduced the ability to change the tension of the thumbsticks themselves. We offer 3 positions, a high, a medium, and a low. And what that does is it just gives the gamer more options to play the way that they want to play and give them more control.
Proximat is, we like to call it the mouse pad for virtual reality. It's a mat made out of anti-fatigue material, made for working with the built-in chaperone system in the virtual reality headsets to keep you centered within your VR space, to keep you safe, and to keep you comfy. This gives you the feeling underneath your feet so you know when you're stepping out of your space. It's easy to ignore the visuals, but it's real hard to ignore something you can feel.
There's 2 things Technisport does the other chair companies really don't do. And again, starting with that is the steel frame. So they're backed by a lifetime warranty. So if by some accident you did manage to break a steel chair, you get another one. The other thing they do is every single color that you see here is tied to a charity. And that charity offers 3% towards whatever it is, depending on the sale of the chair. So for example, this chair right here would be going to Alzheimer's research because it's gray and black. Cancer's riddled my family, so it's a very important cause to me. So I always support the pink chairs for breast cancer. Thunder Gaming is actually one of our sponsors, so they decided that our chair was this chair that they wanted to support, and they offer them in their arenas. And this is eSports Arena. They have hundreds of our chairs, and they have several locations throughout the Midwest.
A good controller or gaming chair can certainly help make the difference between almost winning
and completely dominating your opponent. In games, of course, such as
Borderlands at its core has always been a co-op experience that we really wanted people to be able to engage and play with their friends or play with people online. We have couch co-op. We still have that in Borderlands 3 because it's always been important since day one in the franchise. So there's a multitude of ways that we're doing that in the new entry. If you saw the theater presentation, you got to see we're allowing people to kind of send items through the mail system. So if you find something really cool or something that somebody that you know, a friend of yours might enjoy, you can send it to them.
Would there be any chance of them sending something to their buddy that they may not appreciate?
Well, hopefully there's nothing in the game that people don't like, right? But yeah, you can send whatever. That goes with grenades and different like shields and things like that too. So maybe if there is one that has some type of debuff on it or some type of dynamic change that can happen if you do a thing, then you can kind of stick it in there and maybe it'll get past and it'll be like, oh yeah, there's a lot of health on this. Oh, but it explodes and hurts me whenever it happens, or something like that. We want to make sure that people can play literally any way that they want to. They can make their Vault Hunters the way that they want. They can style them and customize them the way that they want, and they can play solo or cooperatively, and it still works just as good.
After opening E3 with a ceremonial ribbon cutting, Mayor Eric Garcetti spoke with Eagle News about his thoughts on how the future of video gaming could positively impact Los Angeles.
We are so excited to have E3 here. It's our 20th time hosting. This is the center, not only of video gaming, but of esports in the world. And this is our biggest convention of the year. We love opening up LA. We've got engineers, we've got companies, we've got jobs, we've got players, we've got now competitors. And because the Olympics are coming, we hope to maybe see in the future esports can be a part of a worldwide federation, maybe even be in the Olympics.
In keeping with today's theme of peripherals, I decide to hide in the corner of my co-reporter's field of vision to do the closing all by myself. Oh, hello.
Hello. And goodbye for now to our Eagle News viewers. But don't worry, this farewell is only temporary because our exploration of the Electronic Entertainment Expo is far from done. Reporting from the Los Angeles Convention Center at E3,
Day 1.
This is Eva and Allen for Eagle News, and we are 1 with 25.
At this year's PAX East, video gaming developers and parenting experts share with Eagle News how parents and kids could bond over these electronic games. Eagle News correspondent Bobby Soriano with the details.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're at PAX East in Boston to ask a question many parents probably wouldn't even consider. Do video games actually improve the family? The answer might surprise you.
It's an all too common sight for many families. Parents confused by their kids and the video games they play. Teenagers thinking their parents will never understand the thrill of a good online match. But those days are starting to be in the past, as a generation that grew up with Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog start to have families of their own. Amanda Farrow, editor-in-chief of superparent.com, a website dedicated to helping parents navigate the ever-changing landscape of video game trends, talks to us about how she's integrated gaming into her own family.
So gaming was a big part of how I was raised, and I wanted to make sure that I passed that on to my children. Gaming is ubiquitous. It's always something that we do. We're always playing video games and tabletop games together. Gaming is just such an integral part of who they are, who we are as parents, that it just enriches our lives. They've learned leadership skills, how to lead a team as well as how to be a part of a team, especially when they're playing cooperatively. The interpersonal stuff where they learn to be, pro-social, a lot of pro-social skills about how to be kind and generous, compassionate in the moments where it's like, oh, you lost this game and I won, maybe you'll win next time, and making it about the experience. There's a lot of great skills that kids learn with video games, especially when they're young.
But what about the parent that's never touched video games before? Sometimes all you need to do is show a little interest, even if you don't get the big deal.
I really believe that when you're talking about parents, if they're bringing their kids to a Minecraft event, they care, helping them you can just get them that one step further. If you can understand, if you take the time to try to understand, sit down with your kids while they're playing and have them explain this to you, have them explain to you what they're doing. Taking that time to sit down with them and be like, I'm going to take an interest in this thing that you're super excited with. They don't ever have to understand it. They don't ever have to necessarily see it. But that enthusiasm and being able to see is a great thing to encourage.
So your kids might enjoy hearing this, but turns out that gaming can be beneficial to the family. Reporting from PAX East in Boston, this is Bobby Soriano, 1 with 25.
Moderation and adult supervision are important in video gaming to avoid the problem of addiction. Still at PAX East, eSports has been big in recent years. Today, it's hitting college campuses in the form of organized tournaments and programs that have the potential to offer scholarships and paid positions in the gaming industry. Here's more.
People all over the world recognize March Madness as the excitement of college basketball. But can collegiate esports be as popular?
The esports scene has exploded in recent years, thanks to the publicity gaming competitions have found at conventions such as PAX East and online platforms like Twitch. Game developers have also backed large-scale competitions with prize money rivaling that of some mainstream sports competitions. Now, collegiate programs throughout the country are starting to take notice.
Back in 2011, you would be lucky to find a tournament in the next town over worth $50 of a prize pool, and now you could get full ride scholarships. It's been a very strange growth. Like I said, 2011, very small things. 2014, we were able to actually create a tournament at Penn State where we actually got to invite a bunch of other schools to compete with us. And now at 2019, we have over 100 schools that have esports programs like us at Coker.
Colleges are not only looking to students to become professional esports athletes, but they also turn to them to fill out many organizational roles as well.
Broadcasters and doing commentary just like on a normal football game. That's a big one that a lot of kids want to get into, is doing commentary. And then you get into the stuff in administration, tournament organization, coaches, even student coaches are coming up as well. And I'm sure that there's some other things that varsity teams can look to employ with other students.
Yeah, basically anything an organization would need. You would have photographers, social media managers, HR. You see these at the esports programs as well. So now you can think of them as legit businesses, and you think, what does a business need? What does the Atlanta Falcons need? You see that in esports now too.
Despite the growth, esports will still need to break a few more milestones before it becomes as well known as college hoops.
I think realistically the next big milestone is for more than just CLOL to make the front page of Twitch. I think there needs to be some more outside support aside from just the developers, having big conferences and things like that, and kind of getting that all put together.
For me, it'd be more exposure and more traditional media. You actually are seeing this year with ESPN collaborating with Tespo, where you're seeing their final tournaments are going to be held in Texas in a live event, and all of this is being handled by ESPN. So seeing a big company like that showing their faith in esports is really helping the scene, and I think if they're able to up their publicity of it, it's going to be the next big milestone for it.
Interested in starting an esports program at your school? Be patient, you're not alone.
You're going to hear a lot of no's trying to create a program like this, but they will start to see the value of it eventually, and you have to also take care of yourself as well, take care of your studies. You don't want to put everything in the club and then you just drop out because of it. So don't be afraid to focus on yourself as well, and do as much as you can with your club as well.
Find people who you want to play games with and organize, and then maybe talk with your administration and show that, hey, we have a club, and get it sanctioned by the school as a club.
It looks like collegiate esports may have a while before they find their foothold in the mainstream, but it looks like educational institutions are starting to realize their importance. Reporting from PAX East in Boston, my name is Bobby Soriano, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Bobby. When we come back, the Los Angeles Dodgers host Filipino Night. Residents of San Antonio, Texas express support for their local parks. Plus, Safety Harbor, Florida celebrates U.S. Independence Day, and Summerlin community holds its 25th Patriotic Parade on Independence Day. Eagle News Weekend Edition will return shortly. Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News Weekend Edition. I am Lonnie Valdecantos. The Los Angeles Dodgers organization hit a home run with fans as it hosted Filipino Night. Eagle News correspondents Eva Basalyaje and Aaron Rio Totar with the story.
Happy Filipino Night, go Dodgers! Happy Filipino Night, go Dodgers!
Happy Filipino Night, go Dodgers!
Happy Filipino Night, go Dodgers!
For the 10th straight year, the Los Angeles Dodgers host Filipino Nights.
These pre-game festivities are replete with food, folk celebrations, and an exclusive Dodgers jersey, in celebration of the influence and contributions of the ever-growing Filipino community in Los Angeles.
Today I'm at Dodger Stadium for Filipino Night. It's just a celebration of the Filipino community out here to support our local Dodger team. In general, there's always a lot of Filipinos at the Dodger Stadium, but I feel like as of right now, of course, we're all coming together to celebrate our Filipino Night.
Philippines coming together, you know, and Philippine Independence Day is this month too, so you know what? What a better way to celebrate Filipino Independence Month than here at Filipino Night at Dodger Stadium. Filipinos' impact not only in LA but around the world just shows how hardworking we are, how smart we are, and how dedicated we are. Let's go, Philippines!
Tonight it's Filipino Night, and I think it's going to be a very fun day. They bring a good diversity of people, you know, they introduce us to their culture. I think they're really excited. I think they're going to have a fun time.
First at bat for the night's performances were the Philippine Chamber Singers of Los Angeles.
It's Filipino Night. It's a big honor for us to be invited. This would be the second time that we're singing for this particular occasion, and we're really very excited. As far as food is concerned, we don't even have to talk about that. It's a given. And culturally, I think Filipinos have also been in love with the sport, baseball. There are, well, as I was told, 12,000 seating capacity is sold out, and it's a big honor for us to be here.
The national anthem was performed by singer and actress Anthea Neri.
It's a huge platform to sing in front of family. It's all these Filipinos here to support you. And I was born in the Philippines, and I came here when I was 4 years old. And to be able to sing the national anthem surrounded by my Filipinos, Filipino Americans here on this platform is an amazing opportunity. It brings us all together. It's an amazing chance to meet friends and family. I have friends that are here that did shows with me. I've done the anthem before, and they're here supporting and having just camaraderie and, again, family. As you can feel that energy and support every time there's a bunch of Filipinos around. So that is amazing. We are making strides for diversity. I've got so many friends that I'm working with in Mamma Mia that have AJ Raphael and Jules Aurora, and they create that platform that it allows you to shine and to be diverse and don't sit in the shadows, but create a platform to shine proud as a Filipino and a Filipino American, and to shine with your talents or whatever you do, to be able to share it and share it with pride and to share it with Filipino pride.
True Blue Dodger fans were also filled with pride as their home team that night defeated the Colorado Rockies 4-2.
It's a Filipino Dodgers night for the Filipino heritage.
Celebration, yeah, and it's nice that we have this t-shirt that they really made for Filipinos. They're so happy to see each other, you know, coming from different places. You know, like us, we're from Riverside. I know there's a lot more people from other cities of California.
We're so proud to be here and to enjoy the big city of Los Angeles, you know, and to show our Filipino pride and our heritage, and we're happy to have this Dodgers Filipino Night.
We are proud to be Filipinos.
Filipino Night at Dodger Stadium takes place in the same month as Philippine Independence Day,
which makes celebrating the Philippine culture at the old ball game an extra special experience
for Filipinos living in this wonderfully vibrant and pleasantly diverse city. Reporting from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, this is Eva
and Aaron for Eagle News.
And we are one with 25.
Thanks, Eva and Aaron. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, Texas, residents share with Eagle News why they care so much for their local parks. Kathleen Gregorio with the story.
Howdy from Texas. Today in San Antonio, Texas, we will take a look at two of the most famous parks in the city.
One of the most historic parks in San Antonio, Texas is Breckenridge. Located along the San Antonio River, it also encompasses the Japanese Tea Garden, the Sunken Garden Theater, the San Antonio Zoo, and more. Here, one can enjoy a family picnic, a jog on the trail, duck feeding by the river, or taking a moment to relax and de-stress. We caught up with longtime San Antonio resident Kenneth Peters, who has fond memories coming with his family as a child.
As far as I know, Brackenridge Park is one of the oldest city parks in the U.S. I think Central Park in New York is the oldest, but Brackenridge has been here a long time. Parents came here when they were kids, grandparents, great-grandparents. It's just sort of, I think everyone in the whole city's been here, generations and generations of them, just to enjoy the beauty down here at Brackenridge Park, which brings back a lot of memories for me because I haven't been down here in years and years, probably 20 years at least. And it's true, you can always come back because it still looks as wonderful as it did the last time I saw it. It's very well maintained, just majestic.
One of the most relaxing places here in San Antonio is the Japanese Tea Garden.
Within the compound of this 300-plus acre park is the Japanese Tea Garden, which houses stone bridges, floral displays, koi ponds, a 60-foot waterfall, and the Jingu House Cafe. Located adjacent to the San Antonio Zoo, the Japanese Tea Garden is free to visit and open year-round.
When I first walked through the entrance, the waterfall was the first thing that caught my attention. And as I looked down across the view, there was exotic flowers and koi fish of different colors, and even turtles, baby turtles with mama turtles, and little trails and little bridges, and little areas where you can just nestle and sit down. I love it very much. It's very important to support your local parks and trails because we don't always want to be cooped up inside, and that's not a healthy lifestyle for us. Economically, this is a really great place to come to because you really don't need any money to come to a park or to spend time with somebody. I believe it's a good place for family and kids because it's a good place to take family photos, and it's a good place for children to enjoy outside area. They get their exercise, they're outside getting their vitamin D, and they're sparking that curiosity.
Reporting from San Antonio, Texas, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, your EBC correspondent, and I'm 1 with 25.
Beautiful parks you have there, Kat. July 4th is Independence Day. Let's head to Florida, where a small town makes most of this holiday. Eagle News correspondent Jay Rosquitas reports. Take a look.
As the U.S. celebrates its 243rd year of independence, the small town of Safety Harbor, Florida, launched its annual 4th of July parade and celebration. After the parade concluded on Main Street, the American Legion Post No. 238 hosted a patriotic ceremony open to the public. From singing the national anthem to singing traditional American theme songs, the citizens of Safety Harbor embraced their patriotism. The ceremony also included honoring the U.S. Armed Forces in flag guard formation.
Well, we're just lucky to have great people that want to put these parades on. As you saw, Ruth Burgess has been doing this for many years. She's affiliated with the American Legion, and they're very active in, organizing the event. So between Ruth, the American Legion, and then all the volunteers coming together, it turns out to be a pretty good parade.
Despite a population of over 16,000, the city of Safety Harbor continues to make ways for their community to celebrate achievements, letting the public know what to expect.
You can expect to have a lot of festivities. You can expect to see an awesome parade. You can expect to see a lot of both residents and people visiting Safety Harbor, just celebrating a great holiday.
As for Independence Day, the achievements of freedom still hold high value to these citizens.
I just wish everybody would be
sympathetic to our country and love our country. Freedom is not free. All of our veterans have served to give us this freedom, to allow us to have this day. So I think we should all celebrate them and just honor them.
We can never take our freedoms or liberties for granted, and this is a great time of year to remember what these freedoms and liberties stand for, and just be very appreciative of everything that we have.
Reporting from Safety Harbor, Florida, I'm Jay Raskidas, always 1 with 25.
Thanks, Jay. Meanwhile, here in Nevada, celebrating July 4th the old-fashioned way, Summerlin, a community in Las Vegas, holds its 25th Patriotic Parade. Here's the story.
As America commemorates its independence, families and residents from all over the Las Vegas Valley come to celebrate with a Summerlin Patriotic Parade.
We wish you a wonderful 4th of July. How about you?
There's a lot of things that keep me coming back over the years, but primarily it's the great sense of patriotism that you feel at the parade. You're surrounded by people who love the country, love the community of Summerlin, and they're just great people you want to be around and celebrate your 4th of July with.
Beautiful!
45 feet high.
So we have a couple new ones. We have a Mary Poppins float that's new, and we think the crowd's really going to like that. And then always a fan favorite, the Vegas Golden Knights float, as well as the Star Wars float.
Is the dark side from Int'l, Harrison, 501.
Not the new one with Will Smith. You recommend it.
They accomplished this by getting veteran fans sponsored by everybody else to something. Everybody else
It's just wonderful. We could get all these people and nationalities and cultures, and we just love it.
You felt today in the parade?
Oh, I thought it was wonderful. I love their costumes.
I just thought it was great to get everybody together and to really just celebrate this special day.
We're definitely feeling the celebration here today. Reporting for Eagle News, I'm Lonnie Valdecantos, 1 with 25.
That is today's Eagle News Weekend Edition. Join us again next week for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the globe. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH and on Facebook at facebook.com/EagleNews. Thank you for watching. I am Lonnie Valdecantos. I am 1 with 25.